Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to tie this pattern, and in my opinion it's very good fly or any variation to it. I'm trying to test some new materials, at least one of them on this fly, to see how it works on this particular pattern, because this pattern I used in other variations, so the body material I changed. I'm gonna use Swiss CDC, so just CDC dubbing, and the color is pale olive, as you can see. I'm fishing this fly here in China, and the place where I fish it demands for lighter colors. So first of all, I'm gonna put hook in the vise. It's 2487 BL by Tiemco, size 14. So as I go, I'll tell you what I'm using and why. So hook is Tiemco 2487, size 14 in barbless, and I'm starting my thread right about where I want my thorax to begin. So I'm using the thread as a reference point, obviously. For the tailing, I'm gonna use coq de lion, and in this case I'm gonna count 4. I don't want to use just 2, because I do think it's too little, although mayfly tails are more or less this thickness. Now eyeball the length of your tail here, or use those speckles on the coq de lion as a reference point to go to see how long you want those to be. Cut everything here. Now take a piece of thread, any thread is okay, so I'm just gonna use black thread here that I used for some other fly, or I have a better idea, I'm gonna use orange one because it's more visible. So I'm just gonna take the length of the thread, let me see, like this, so it's like what, 15 centimeters, and go back with your thread, keep those fibers, barbules on the top of the hook shank, and go down the bend with the thread, and then in a couple of turns just go back to put it out of your way. Now put the thread around the hook bend here and hold it with your left hand. With your right hand or dominant hand, split those tails in 2, and then just go with your thread, go between those barbules. Now don't apply too much pressure. This is just my bobbin hanging. Now I'm gonna pull on the thread slightly, and I'm going to position the tail, and as you can see already, tail looks beautiful. Now you can cut off the excess thread here, and you can prepare Biot that you're going to use for the top part of the fly, so back cover, wing case cover, whatever you want to call it. What I also like to do, I like to snip this edge, translucent edge. So I'm taking it out because it's too wide, nothing else. On bigger flies you can of course use the whole Biot. Now position the Biot on the top of the hook and be careful. So I'm going backwards now. I want this middle portion to be thicker than the rear portion because I want to attach ribs right now. So I'm tapering the fly with my thread and with attaching the materials. So now I'm going backwards, and the good side of this thread is that you can hardly make a real build-up. So don't pull too hard, and as you get closer to the tail, watch how it behaves, because it can be bent by all the materials, you can deform it. Now it's time to add some body material. So it's CDC, as I said, it's Swiss CDC. I've never used it before. I mean, I used my CDC that I plucked out of ducks as dubbing, but I never used it like this. And to be honest, I like the luxury of not having to pluck out those barbules out of the feather, which is quite painful sometimes because it's boring as hell. So I really appreciate that I can do this. I mean, it's not cheap material at all. So if you're going on a budget, then I recommend that you continue doing it manually. So just pluck out all the CDC you have. And I mean, you don't have to use pale olive or any other color that I use in the video. Just use whatever you have. Now, as you can see, you can like dub a nice rope here, and it looks pretty nice. Now, I will stop here because this is where I want my thorax to begin. I'll take away the CDC, and now pull the biot over the top, catch it with your thread 2 times without tension, reposition everything, pull again a little bit here, and then apply some tension. Now you can, just as you can see, I caught materials here, and now I'm gonna rib everything together. Okay. Now this ribbing material is here to protect the fly in case you're fishing for trout. In my case, I'm fishing for armyfish, which is sort of mashir, so toothless fish, but nevertheless I want to have my flies proper, durable. Now fold back biot and use it for the wing case cover. Now you can use some darker material for thorax. In my case, I'm not going to do that. I'm just gonna, in this particular spot here, I'm gonna create a little bit of transition, so when I dub everything it won't just bump down. It can be I don't know, annoying sometimes to when materials bump down, they just somehow damage themselves. So I'm gonna dub the same material again, same color, and I'll do it a little bit loosely so you can see those barbules sticking out. This is to suggest legs. So I'm just going bit by bit and go a little bit backwards, so just to fold nicely the wing case cover. Now I'll add some more. I mean, as you can see, I'm saving this material as well because I don't want to be crazy about it. I don't want to buy it every time. Like, I mean, it's not the cheapest one. I do like good quality materials, and I can say that this one is one of them. Now pull, stroke back all those fibers so you can make the nice neat head over here. Now I need my brushing device. Now what I do, I brush the top just to get a couple of legs, because this top won't be visible, so all those fibers from the top are actually going to benefit your fly, and everything that's like not like it, that you don't want to be seen, will be covered by the biot. So when you brush out a couple of legs, just pull your biot or any other material in that case for that matter, just like you can use pheasant tails. I'll just show you that in a minute. So pull everything tight. Okay. Now I'm gonna make a nice little head here. So okay. One. I like to do 2 whip finish knots so I don't have to varnish anything. And as you can see, I'm locking down this material. So now you can actually pull on Biot and take it away, and it's going to be almost perfectly cut. If you don't lock it like this, if you just tie it down the eye, it can just bump out sometimes. Now what I like to do, I like to brush all those fibers like so. Now I got myself a nice delicate nymph that I'm going to use for sight fishing army fish. So the point why I tied it in this color, pale color, is because the bottom here where I fish is quite pale. It's some cream color sand, not much structure, no pebbles, no rocks, almost nothing, just sand. And nymphs that live there are not big. I mean, this is on the large scale. Luckily the fish are not too picky, so I can get away with the larger flies. That's why I have pale color. The reason why I'm using CDC is because it's light, and above all it has lots of movement inbuilt. So that's why I'm using CDC here. And by showing you how to tie the fly, I just got myself a nice little hotspot over here. It's like super small. It's like just one wrap of thread. Now this is the version with the pheasant back cover and tragopan tails. It looks nice, it looks good. Now let me see if you can see it. I guess yes. So almost the same thing, just a little bit darker back. You can use, as I said, whatever you want. These flies I like to fish on a long leader. So what I'm using currently is TMCO 12-foot leader and 12 feet leader, sorry, and the leader is with a tip of 4x. So I attach to my leader directly tippet ring, and then accordingly I add some tippet. So if I want to fish it like for deeper, I'll add like 1 or 2 meters of tippet, and I'll go very deep with it. If I want to fish some dry flies or a nymph like this and I need accurate casts, I'll just add like 50 to 70 centimeters of tippet, and this leader will transfer the energy right where I want it, so it will give me the accurate cast. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and see you next week.